Okay, I think I'm here. I think I'm live. Hopefully the sound's working this time, so we'll give this another bash. This is me. My name is Mark. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm playing FM20. So I do this as a hobby. I'm not someone who considers myself to be a pro at this, but I love the game. I've always loved the game, um, and I thought that maybe starting off at least with the beta is something familiar. I always play as Arsenal. I have a certain set of tactics that which I will run through. I'm going to take you with a little look at the squad, what I agree with, what I don't agree with. So the next couple of hours probably is just going to be a stream. I did actually do a stream and it turned out the sound wasn't working, so I'm having to start again. So some of this I've already set up, some of it I won't, but I'm literally just going to play it. That's what I'm going to do. So I guess I'll take you from the start. You actually start off in the boardroom and you have a board discussion. I don't think I can take you back there, but it does look good. It's a bit more of an invite, if you like. A bit more of an intro into the game, and you have a discussion with the board. And yeah, really, really exciting, actually. They've made a lot of little tweaks in here. I was a bit worried when they said what the updates had been, but actually some of the updates in FM20 have been really good. They're just tweaks, and they've really got a solid game here, and if they can just keep updating little bits, I think it's going to be, in a couple of years' time, we're going to have a really, really serious game on our hands. So, as I said, I'm Arsenal. I haven't done the face packs and the badge packs. I'm only really going to do the squad badges. So this is the beta, obviously, being that the full game's not out. So I'll take you through my team. I'll take you through my tactics and what I'm planning to do. So Arsenal in general are under a new manager, relatively new in Unai Emery. There have been a lot of changes after his first year in the summer. And actually, although things aren't quite coming together, there's a lot to be excited about in terms of the youth. And I'll be making this save to really nurture the youth. That's where my main focus is going to be in this. So, being that I am an Arsenal fan and I usually play as Arsenal, I have a go-to tactic, which is a take on the Arsenal Invincibles, which I will go through in a little bit. First off, I guess I kind of want to take you through the squad. There's a couple of players which started off in the under-23s that I moved up, one of which being Bukayo Saka. And you can see his current ability and his potential. He's already ready for the first team, and his potential ability. He could be the next big thing, in this game. Potential ability, superb rating, blah blah blah. Emil Smith Rowe's another, and so down the left I think we're sorted. Now, another player that I've brought up in here, and I'm really disappointed in the game, is Gabriel Martinelli. I don't think they've got his rating right in this game, that he's got 2.5 current, which is fair enough. And his potential is fairly good to very good. And I think that's selling him short. So let's just have a look if we've got someone who's better at judging potential of... Yes, even Steve Bold does. Who's got judging potential at 18 and it's still not great. I think that's a mistake in the game, personally. So the tactics that we're going for, and this is, as I said, kind of my take on the Arsenal Invincibles, is that I've actually gone for sweeper keeper. Now, Jens Lehmann wasn't necessarily a sweeper keeper, but I do feel that kind of works, and take more risks. One thing Jens was a bit of a risk taker, and he was a bit of a lunatic, for want of a better phrase. So I've got him in as a sweeper keeper, Leno. Now at right back would be Hector Bellerin, but of course he starts the game off as injured. And I've gone to have him as a complete wing back. Now there is, in the Arsenal Invincibles, Ashley Cole was, if you like, a complete wing back. He was someone who bombed up and down the left. And what I've done is I've taken the Arsenal Invincible squad and I've inverted it. So I flipped it. So Bellerin is in, if you like, the Ashley Cole role of the complete wing back, which means at left back we're having the Lauren, or the left back equivalent of what Lauren was on the right. And that's a wing back in support mode. Not quite as attacking, still fairly attacking, very solid. And that's what we've got in Kolasinac. Now, obviously, when Kieran Tierney comes back, then we'll be playing Kieran Tierney there, and I'm training him up to play in that position and to be a natural in that position. But actually, in this game, Kolasinac is an absolute beast. Like, look at those physicals. So I think he'll be fine there. I do. At least for the first season. So Kolo Touré was a ball-playing defender. He was on the right side of defence. And we had Sol Campbell on the left, who I've just gone for a complete defender. Obviously, it's flipped because I've inverted it. So David Luiz is a ball-playing defender. We've got the majority of the defenders in this squad seem to be able to play a ball-playing defender. So I've gone for David Luiz. We've got Rob Holding and Mustafi can both play there. So Mustafi can play as a ball-playing defender, and it is his natural position. And so is Rob Holding when he gets back. And in the long term, we'll probably have Rob Holding as the ball-playing defender. His stats, by the way, are really nicely balanced. So I'm actually quite happy with that. What have I got him working on? Defensive positioning. Yeah, because his positioning and his marking. Equally, I could get him working on aerial and get his heading a little bit better. But either way, I can't get him working on anything at the moment because he's injured. And Socrates is the only, if you like, central defender that's not a ball-playing defender. So I've got him playing a central defender and defend. He could do with working on his aerial ability, but how old is he? 31. Yeah, I mean, is it worth it now? So I have actually got him working on his aerial, but it's not going to change much being that he's 31 years old. So then on the left wing, so right wing in this formation, we had Bobby Pires. So we've actually got Reece Nelson working there. We don't actually have a natural, but we're playing him as a wide playmaker. So wide playmaker in support. So this was the Pires role. Wide playmaker will act as the team's primary source of creativity, drifting inside to find space from which he will play the killer ball to create chances. Coming in from the wing allows the wide playmaker to escape hustle and bustle of the central midfield and can result in him being unmarked by opposition players. Because we've got him in support. Defensively, the wide playmaker will take out the position on the wing to provide cover for his fullback. However, he's not expected to make too many defensive tackles, just like Bobby Pires did. You know, people always said, "Oh God, you know, he's not making too many tackles or whatever," and that's true. You know, we almost said that he had a bit of a free role, and that is, you know, what it is. He should take up good defensive positions, provide another body in the defensive line. With support duty, the wide playmaker will come inside to sit in a central midfield position when his team have the ball. From here, he will act as the main creator for his side. So, in a way, he's actually going to be in this area here where Ozil is, maybe just a bit deeper. Sorry, what we're talking about, he's playing on the right. So, in a way, he's going to be if you like, next to Ozil in this sort of area here. And I've got a setting on him to sit narrower. So then we've got a wide midfielder in attack mode, which was like the Freddy. And if we look at his duties, wide midfielder often performs defensive and attacking duties on the flanks, supporting the forwards, midfield and defence when required, generally lacking either explosive pace or exciting dribbling skills of an out-and-out winger. The wide midfielder relies on teamwork and work rate to get into dangerous attacking positions without compromising defensive responsibilities. With attack duty, the wide midfielder looks to play a quick cross in from the final third. So there's your Freddy. We've got Torreira as a central midfielder, so that was like the Gilberto Silva role, and then you've got Guendouzi as the box-to-box midfielder, and that was the Paddy Vieira role. We've got the advanced playmaker role. It's sitting a little bit deeper, just like Dennis Bergkamp did, And then we've got Aubameyang as a complete forward in support mode, and he really that's the Thierry Henry role. Obviously, Thierry Henry cut in from the left, and we'll have Oba cutting in from the right. Notice that he's in support mode, and Mesut Ozil is in attack mode. Now, I'm not saying that Mesut Ozil is that attacking as Dennis Bergkamp, but as I said, this is a play. This is sort of a long-term vision, if you like, for the tactic. So initially, we are fitting a few square pegs into round holes, particularly in the wide areas. Yeah, Saka and Nelson particularly, and obviously Nicolas Pepe will be out on the right at some point, and Emile Smith-Rowe on the left. So I know this is not perfect, but it's just a take on the Arsenal Invincibles 4-4-2. And yeah, that's the tactic. In terms of team instructions, really this should be on a cautious mentality, or what used to be called in the game a counter mentality. I've gone for balanced. I just feel like cautious is just too defensive and too negative. But of course Arsenal did play on the counter attack. You know, how many times did we see it that we won the ball and hit the players hit the other team on the counter with quick distribution? Before you knew it, Henry, Freddie, Dennis, and Bobby, you know, right going forward. It didn't matter if it was going down the right, the left, if it was going in the middle through Paddy Vieira. You know, within a couple of seconds, sometimes even a couple of passes, we'd be making it and scoring goals. So the team instructions are that in possession, the attacking width is wide. Now, I appreciate I've told Nelson to sit narrower, but I've also got Bellerin, who's going to be like, if you like, an overlap. So there is going to be width from the right there. And of course, you've got Kolasinac or Tierney in future, and Saka or Emile Smith-Rowe on the left. So there is width there. This is a 4-4-2 as well, don't forget. So there is the width there. I've advised that we pass into space. Again, it's all part of the counter-attacking, that instead of this kind of pass to feet, play it into space that we run onto. We've got quite a lot of pace on there. Play out defence because we've got a ball-playing defender, and of course they can distribute however they want to. Passing directives, I've gone for standard. I was tempted to go for short, but I just fear that encourages... maybe when we do play on the counter, that means that it might slow the game up and we might not play as direct as what we'd hoped. So I've gone for standard on that because I don't want it going short, and I certainly don't want to be going long all the time. I feel like we need to mix it up. Tempo is going to be higher, again, if we're going to play on the counter. We're going to play a higher tempo because we want to really move out as quickly as possible. We don't time waste because we don't. Now, the final third, I've gone for low crosses. I'm tempted to put that to mixed, but I do feel like we played a lot on the ground. So I'm going to keep that low for now. And of course, be more expressive because we're Arsenal and we like to play a bit more fluid. In transition, I've gone for the goalkeeper in possession to distribute quickly, and the idea behind that is, of course, you know, if we are going to play on the counter, we don't want to let the other team recover. As soon as we win the ball back, we want to be going, which is why when possession has been won, also counter. When possession has been lost, I've gone for regroup. Like, I was tempted to say counter press, but I feel like if we regroup rather than counter press, then we're going to invite them on us, and then that gives us opportunity and space in behind to move in. So I've gone for that. In terms of goalkeeper distribution type, like, I was toying around with the idea of saying roll it or take short kicks. I don't feel that this is going to have too much of an impact, and we used to do either anyway. And I haven't said to distribute in anywhere in particular because I like the idea of being unpredictable. I don't like the idea of saying, right, well, we'll always distribute to the flanks, because it wasn't always the flanks in Arsenal. Sometimes it was to the ball-playing centre-back who can distribute, or it was to Paddy Vieira who would quickly move the ball out. I feel like if you specify which area you're going to... which area that you're going to attack or dominate, then I feel like it makes you predictable and teams can counter that. It may be in the odd game that if they have a particularly weak player or a player out of position, then that's when we can start to say where we want to capitalise. And out of possession, I haven't made any changes here, really. The defensive width is just going to stay as standard. I did toy with the idea of going into narrow, but I feel that if we're going for a wide width when we're attacking, I feel like that isn't the role then of the wing-backs. The wing-backs, should sit standard. I feel like if I was to tell them to come narrower, they're almost not playing as wing-backs. They're playing as almost inverted wing-backs. Standard line of engagement, because we're not playing on the front foot. Like, if anything, maybe I could pull it back to be lower. But with a standard defensive line and a sweeper keeper, I feel like that doesn't need tampering around. We're not going to use the offside trap because, of course, we're not playing a high line. Arsenal mark zonally, so we don't need to use tighter marking. And the same as the pressing intensity. I don't think we need to press with too much intensity. One, because we don't really at Arsenal, and we never really did. But also because I haven't selected counter press. I feel like if we were to say counter press, then we could start saying that the intensity needs to be higher. So yeah, that's what I've gone on that Arsenal Invincibles tactic. And I've sort of worked out everyone. There are a couple of positions I'm not 100% on, a couple of players that I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to fit them. I can see Granit Xhaka getting unhappy because I do feel that I can't really place him in this team. It's nothing personal against him, and it's nothing to do with what's going on in real life. It's just in this game I can't house him. He's the only real question mark in terms of like recognised personnel. I said I've brought up Joel Lopez. He's a player in a previous version of the game. I'm really disappointed with his potential ability, but I don't know how good this guy is in real life. I just know that in a previous version of the game, he was really good if you nurture him right. So I'm going to try and bring him through and play him in cup games and see what happens there. Gabriel Martinelli, I am disappointed with his potential ability. They're like really, really put out from that. And I'm going to do my best to make him make it. And I'm hoping that that's just an error. It definitely needs looking at for the actual version of the game, like without a doubt, it needs looking at. So that's my squad. In terms of like the team dynamics, some really interesting bits in here. So the hierarchy, as an example, we've got Mesut and Granit Xhaka as like the team leaders. With David Luiz being highly influential, I'm guessing down to age and the fact that he's won pretty much everything in the game. I was interested to see, where is it, that Hector Bellerin and Tierney in particularly comes up as influential, being that he's very new to the club and very young, but I like it. I think some of the players' personalities are a little bit wrong. So, for instance, Mesut Ozil was down as is balanced, and there's a big problem with this squad in particular that I've noticed. And I'm not saying it's wrong. But if we go to attributes and mental, it'll be determination-wise, generally speaking, is lacking. So Kieran Tierney is like Kieran Tierney is just come in. He's young, and he's got a good determination stat. The young goalkeeper, has also got a good determination stat. Kolasinac has got a good determination stat. Socrates has. Matt Macey, another like youth player. But when we get to players that we're looking to use as mentors, so the older sort of players, so Granit Xhaka, Mesut Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette, the players that you think would be like influential in the mentoring crowds, and we start to look at their mental attributes. Determination 14 from David Luiz is not bad. Socrates, fair enough. Then Mesut, and I'm not saying it's wrong, that's probably about right for Mesut. But then there's a massive gap here from the older generation of players and their determination. And it's something which, when I'm looking for mentors in this game, usually like the determination is one of the biggest things I look for. And so it's been really hard in training to set up mentoring. So I've had a little go at it. I need another goalkeeper in there. But I need Hein. I've just promoted Hein. So if I move it on a day, then that will happen. There you go. So it's a shame because there are players like Saka, like basically the personality. There are too many players with a balanced personality. Someone like Saka, I think, could really do with a mentor who's going to have a significant impression. So if I was to say like Saka, then you'd want someone to have a good impression on him. So Torreira, what's his determination? 14. What's Saka's? 14 as well. So you'd want his personality to be affected. So I guess you are, I mean, you could look at Pepe, but what's his personality? Determination 13. So I'm struggling there with someone to mentor him. That's actually going to have a big impact in him. We'll go for Pepe and hopefully his professional nature. Then who do we put in with him? See, at least in there, Granit Xhaka is ambitious and he's got a significant... And Ozil would, but I just don't like... So the balanced personalities, Chambers, Holding... Ozil, Ceballos maybe. What's his determination? 13. Tell you what, we'll give it a go. I mean, the worst that will happen is nothing. Appreciate he's not a winger. I might just set up a centre-backs one. Because I noticed that Holding... So I'm going to do this purely on personality. I'm going to have to turn a complete blind eye to the personality, but I'm going to stick Holding in there because he's got a balanced personality. It may be too late for him. Chambers as well. And then, so Torreira is a fairly professional, but I saw, was it David Luiz as well? See, and Socrates. That's a nice little... Something's got to happen there. That's got to have a positive impact on one of them. just too many of them in there now, isn't there? I'll tell you what, we'll take out the determined player because at least we've got two professional outlooks on there. Torreira can do Chambers because I'm actually training Chambers to be a central midfielder rather than a centre back. So this could be a train wreck, but it's worth a go. So we're actually going for, and this is. Remember, I'm playing a game. This is not necessarily what I would do if I was Unai Emery. This is how I know the game works, what players I've got at my disposal, what tactics I'm employing, the budgets. This is how I'm playing the game, and I need to make that very clear. So I've got Leno in goal. I've got a backup goalkeeper of... Where's my backup goalkeeper? Martinez. So that's an area that we can look to strengthen next summer. I've got Bellerin at right back, and it's a really difficult choice. Now I've gone for Ainsley Maitland-Niles as the backup right back. Okay. I know it's not ideal, but again, I'm going to develop him in that way as a complete wing back with strength. Actually, because if I then later decide, and this was the other idea I had, was that I would use him as a box-to-box, is that if I ever did want to use him as a box-to-box, there are similar attributes in there. So it's not the end of the world if after a season it doesn't work and I need to rethink. They are very similar attributes. Chambers I'm not going to use as a right back because he just doesn't have the pace, and like I see the right back as kind of like one of our main attacking outlets. I will get on to Chambers later. As a centre back, I've got Socrates. He's the only sort of like no nonsense like centre back that we've got. So like centre backs is somewhere that we're going to have to look at. I think Saliba, when he comes back next year from loan, let's have a look, shall we? Loans. William Saliba. So actually, yeah, so he can actually replace Socrates eventually. He's going to need a little bit of love, but nevertheless, he can go in there eventually. So at the moment, we've only got one that can play in this sort of right-sided centre-back, the sort of Sol Campbell, if you like. Obviously, this is a take on the Invincibles, but Sol Campbell played on the left and Kolo Touré played on the right. I've inverted it. That's why Ashley Cole, or the Ashley Cole equivalent, is Hector Bellerin. And the Lauren equivalent is on the left. And also why the Thierry Henry equivalent is on the right instead of the left. I've inverted it. So William Saliba will come back. Can I actually recall him from loan? Loans may not be cancelled within the first 28 days. I don't really need to recall him. I've got enough that we can get by, especially for this first season. So that's Socrates. Ball playing centre back, we've got loads of them. Eventually, in the long run, it will be Rob Holding. I'll probably stick with David Luiz to begin with, although in the first game he had a bit of a shocker. So I've got David Luiz, I've got Holding, I've also got Mustafi if I want to call on him. And between them, Luiz, Holding, Mustafi, Socrates. I've even got Chambers if it comes to it, but I'm actually going to move him into another area. Left back, we've got Kieran Tierney, and until he's back, Kolasinac, and I've also brought up that young lad, Joel Lopez, and I'm going to give him some game time, and hopefully he will develop, and he'll be someone that I'll be able to bring on. We'll have to review at the end of the year. It's not the end of the world, it's just something that I thought, in last year's game, he actually turned out really good, and I thought, well, why didn't I try it then? Why don't I try it on this one? Often if things work, you tend to try and repeat them, don't you? So on the right, we've got Reece Nelson. I also have Pepe. So Nelson and Pepe. For box-to-box, I am denied about this because, as I said, Ainsley Maitland-Niles may eventually end up being there as well. We've got Guendouzi. We've got Granit Xhaka. But his tackling stat is a bit poor, and his speed as well to go sort of box to box. But Guendouzi at the moment would be my first choice. We've also got Willock. So between us, we're pretty well stocked in that area. Sorry, I just made my notes down here. So at the moment, I'm going to go for Guendouzi or Willock alongside Torreira as that the Gilberto Silva role. And then also, I'm going to have Xhaka as backup there for the moment. As I said, his tackling stat lets him down a bit. But I don't think I can have him as a box-to-box. And again, I mean, even Ainsley Maitland-Niles may end up there. It may be that I dip my toes in the transfer market. It may be that I get someone from the youth. I've had a little look down there, and I don't think there's anyone at the moment, but we'll see. Saka on the left, and also Emile Smith-Rowe, who's out injured. So there's also Martinelli, who I'm actually going to train up as being a striker. And Chambers is the other player. So we've got Xhaka, who I'm playing as the central midfielder, Torreira as the central midfielder, and Callum Chambers, who I'm going to try and train up to sort of play in that area and see if it works. It might not, but Chambers is a little bit, and this is the same in real life. There's players like Chambers, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, to an extent Willock, who I think fall foul a little bit, that they don't have a set position. They get moved around because they're like a jack of all trades, master of none, and then they end up just sort of being farmed out. It was like Iwobi. I thought Iwobi, no one really knew where to play him. So we played him on the left. And that's why we ended up selling him. So that is kind of where we are with that. I haven't considered what I'm doing with Dani Ceballos. He's another one that could play in the box-to-box. Basically, we're really overstocked in central midfield. Because he could be not so much a central midfielder in defence mode, but could also be another one who would fit the box-to-box quite well. But before you know it, you've got Ceballos, you've got Willock, you've got potentially Ainsley Maitland-Niles, you've got Guendouzi. There's just too much there. There's too much going on. So one of them we're going to have to bite the bullet and have to play as kind of backup to Mesut Ozil, who at the moment is about the only one that can play in that position. Well, anyway. Let's have a quick look. Let's just see who else can play in there, as a natural I'm talking about. So Reece Nelson, Ozil. I don't think Dani Ceballos is a natural there, is he? Oh, he is, okay. I've always thought he doesn't look comfortable there. I think what I will do, when he comes back from injury, is I will train him to be back up for Ozil. Because we're so congested in that midfield. 2, because we kind of need someone as backup to Mesut. I mean, whatever in real life Unai Emery's doing in that position, I'll never know. And then as the striker, we've got Oba, we've got Laka, and as I said, Martinelli. Now, I've said it a million times, I am really disappointed with Martinelli's potential ability in this game. I think that's he's been sold massively short. And I think that needs looking at by the game developers. So that's my tactics, that's my squad. Is there much else? Okay, staff. Actually, big update on staff. Really big update on staff. So first off, the game now, and I really, really love this, but the game actually, whereas before, if you did your training and you had to work out kind of like the best for your coaches and their assignments, and you had to kind of work out the best one, it gives you like the optimum to begin with, and I think that's a really good step. I noticed that it looks like they got rid of one of the goalkeeping training assignments, which I think was agility. So I think that's gone. But a super really exciting update is that I am hopefully going to be getting Dennis Bergkamp in as a coach, which he is literally God to me, like he really is. So if I was to take you up there, you will see that there's a picture of him there. I've got a few various pictures of him on my wall because he is literally my favourite footballer of all time. So I will be keeping him. I will be hopefully be signing him as a coach, and hopefully we'll keep him there. Now, another good thing, I've sorted out all the training of the players, and obviously the main training at the moment, I've done the mentoring. The individual bit that I've done with them, I've done all their individual assignments, and hopefully, apart from the ones who are away on holiday or injured and you can't edit them until they come back. And I've done it to kind of the positions that I will see them playing. A really good update from the game, which I'm sure is, it will be on purpose. But there are a few more individual focuses that you can give them. One of which is crossing, and I really like that because I was always thinking, God, why can't we do them crossing? You could do, I think, corners, but you couldn't do crossing, so that's a really good move. And the other one is that you can do aerial, so you can do heading and bravery. There are some goalkeeper-specific ones which have been added, which I will click on when I click on the goalkeeper. So that's really cool, and I'm really liking that. And yeah. So scouting introduction, I haven't sorted out my scouting yet. As I said, I'm probably not going to make any transfers in the first quarter. I just don't think that it's really in the spirit of the game. And I don't think, because Arsenal made so many transfers over the summer and we got so many of the youth coming in, like this save is going to be a Project Youth save, like make no mistake about it. So because of that, I don't want to be in a position where I'm changing the squad radically for the first save. You know, I want to be nurturing the youth. It's a very young squad as it is. So that's interesting that our scouting packages at the moment, why are we not just using the full whack? Well, I'm not going to mess about with that too much now. So, the scouting team is responsible for identifying... the package owned determine the number of players available to search through, as well as increasing the knowledge level of the player role visibility. Youth packages cover players actually. No, really? A scouting centre where you receive it. Okay, well I know all that anyway. I'm not going to update the package just yet, purely because, as I said, I'm not going to be making any transfers. Bradford City. Well, who accepted that? Who the hell are you? Loan manager. So that must be a new role within the club. Okay, he is quite highly rated. I hope they off. What was the offer? No fees. Proposed playing time. Okay. Yeah. All right. If he's getting first team football close to, then I'm happy with that. I'm also happy. I didn't realise if this must be in real life because it came as part of the game. So if we go to staff, we go to responsibilities, hiring and firing. Right, so first off, that's going to be my assistant Freddie. That's going to be Freddie. That'll be me. Okay. I don't mind all of that stuff. So, from the staff responsibilities then. Right. Managing the under-21s coaching staff. Well, I guess that should be the under-21s manager, which would be Steve Bold. Under-23, sorry. Surely that would be Steve Bold's job. Anyway, let's not mess about with that too much. Okay. He was at Arsenal. Hold on. Scouting and transfers team vacancies. Job to offer, chief scout. Oh, so these are like internal. Pretty simple. Okay. Like I said, I'm not too worried at the moment of. There are a few players I want to look at though. Ever Benega, yeah. I swear we get linked to him all the time. Good. Go on, Freddie. You do it, son. Okay. What have we offered him? Under 18s coach. Right, okay. Little bit concerning. We keep seeing all these offers that I know nothing about. Probably should look at. Expires 2020. Well, yeah, offer him a new contract immediately. Okay. Yeah, I don't need this tutorial. Player contract discussions should be with the manager. Absolutely. Right, playing time. I can't promise him first team footballer. Yeah. He's going to be used in rotations. A fringe. See what he makes of that. My client is happy to move on. Good. Negotiate contract. Contract length. As long as possible. His wage. Oh. Asks him, yeah, he's 33. Are you fucking kidding me? Alright. I'm not putting him on that much to begin with. I'm sorry, I just can't. Start him on 17. Loyalty bonus. I'll give him a nice 500k loyalty bonus. Alright. Appearance fee 10k. Goal bonus. Unused substitute fee. Yearly wage rise. I hate yearly wage rise. Remove. Wage after playing. I'll tell you what. Oh my god. I'm putting him on 17. Jesus. Just been mugged. I can't give you a wage rise. Sorry. A yearly wage rise, sorry. Especially not on this. Right. Remove. 70. I mean, really? I need to look at our wage structure. This is ridiculous. Unbelievable. Let's have a look at our wage structure then. Maybe it's me. You can't have a 17-year-old on that kind of money. It's bloody daylight robbery. So contract youth going well so far. I've just alienated our hottest prospect, so that's good. That's a concern. He's the only one really, I think. But let's have a look around. Let's just do this. Look, he's on 20, he's on 10, he's on 40 to be fair. Finance-wise then. Do you know, I couldn't even tell you what our available wage budget is. Oh, I see. Right, so they are dependent exactly on each other now. They never used to be. It used to say like available wage budget. So what are the board requests? Decrease Improve training facilities, improve youth. Interesting that there's a lot of these areas that we can... Okay, it may be a bit early to start giving them orders, but they want me to focus on youth, yeah? So, improve youth facilities. Yeah, do you know what? Don't rock the boat too yet. Get a couple of wins under your belt. Bit worried about that Saka now. He's going to walk out. Who? Zebre? Never heard of him. Who is Zebre? The team... It's PSG, in it? Sorry, I mean... Juventus. Why are they called Zebre? Well, that's not ideal. I really wanted Dennis Bergkamp. Maybe I should have listened to handle team briefing. I've only got 2 tactics set up. I think our custom formation will work best. We're going to start with a balanced. Right, great chat, guys. Great chat. How many more have we got back? Right, so Chambers will be at right back again, just for pre-season. Although, if Ainsley Maitland-Niles is available, might as well play him there. Holdings out, so we'll go for David Luiz. Kolasinac at left back. Let's just try Chambers there for a bit. Okay. That's what we did last time, wasn't it? We need these players back from holiday before we start playing friendlies, really. It's daft. And then we played Granit Xhaka in there, didn't we? So this is not representative of how I intend us to line up. It's literally a case of kind of needs must. Being that we've got a lot of players who are still on holiday. At least it gives us an idea of how the match engine goes and playing a game. So, yeah. So I won't talk through too much because it's not. Show me what you got. Good Limp Bizkit song, that. The usual motivation. Show me why you deserve a place in this team. Let's go. So 10 minutes in. Yeah, so I've gone for like the 2D match screen, and then if we score or if someone scores, then the replay I'll do in 3D. But it does look a lot nicer actually, the 3D. They've really done wonders on the match engine. So I'm really looking forward to this save from Project Youth. Chambers, Maitland-Niles, Ober, 1-0. Good. Not bad. 10 minutes in. So, yeah, happy with that. David Luiz, our ball-playing defender. Great ball out to Saka. That's what I'm saying about them having a ball-playing defender. And the man who won't sign a contract has just blasted it over. Don't want any early injuries. And already Callum Chambers looks knackered. We look anxious and wound up. We're all over them. I might even change this now to be like positive. Ainsley Maitland-Niles there. Chambers. What's that? See, he won't be playing as a right back in my save. He'll be playing as a... God, we really are pinging the diagonal balls. Saka. Nice. Go on. Mesut. And again, Mesut. He just doesn't have the pace in this game. I'm going to have to take him off at half time. And I don't know who I can put on for him. Because I guess the plan will be to put Ainsley Maitland-Niles there. I know what I'll do. I'll bring on Laka. Okay, good first half, boys. So, standard team talk. Things are going well, but I know that you can do much better. Oh, okay, keep going. Right. So, Chambers, how you doing, old son? 64%. Yeah, you've earned a rest. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring on Lacazette, and we're going to play him just a bit more advanced. As a complete forward in support mode. We're going to play Ainsley Maitland-Niles as the complete wing back in attack mode. Ober's going to go as an advanced forward. So let me just see their player preferred moves actually, because this is places shots, knocks ball, cuts inside from both wings. That's Ober. So what about Laka? Moves into channels. I'm going to play him as the striker and Ober as the guy who cuts inside because he's got more pace and he has the cuts inside from the wing. So I'm actually going to do that. Start the second half, y'all. Go on, Ainsley. Willock. Oh, it's ballooned it. How we? Joe Willock's looking knackered now. I'm going to have to keep him on, though. Kolasinac. Over. Willock. Oh, he's following up. What's that? Offside? Penalty. Take it. We might make a few changes. David Luiz with the pen. In you go. Bop. That's good, that. Pleased with that. Okay. So that worked out quite well. Now we're going to have Martinelli, who's going to come on for Saka. Willock needs a rest, really. Don't know what I can do about that. Going to bring on Joel Lopez for Kolasinac just to give him a bit of experience. Mustafi deserves to come on. Okay. This is literally making do because it's pre-season and all my players are still on holiday. So we're just going to do that. And then actually I could probably put him as the more defensive. Put Xhaka in the box-to-box. Let's give Emi Martinez a little run out and goal. It is pre-season after all. Yeah, so hopefully by the time I do my next stream, I'm going to have the badges loaded up. So you'll actually have the proper Arsenal badge. But 2-0, we've absolutely dominated the game, as we should do. Hopefully the fans are happy with the style of play. Because one of the big new changes on this version of the game, go on Lacquer, Meza, was that a header? One of the big updates, I have set it to low crosses, so it'd be interesting to see if this was a low cross. Nope. One of the big updates on the game is like a club vision that you discuss. And obviously I'm a diehard Arsenal fan. I love the club. And so I kind of knew what the club's vision would be anyway, and I accepted it. But it's to nurture youth to play attacking football and to play entertaining football. And being, you grow up with these things that, I want to see that myself. So that's why playing this and playing like youngsters, like this is a project youth safe, like make no mistake about it. My interest in this is to bring through and nurture youth. I'm happy with it, with the 3-0 win. They should be happy with it. And hopefully by the Lokomotiv Moscow game, we'll get some of the players back. Martin is now a British citizen. That means he can probably represent England, despite I think he's Argentinian. Martinelli, he's not going out on loan. I want to nurture him. I'm not letting him go away and him just run down. So 15th of July he's due back. I feel like cancelling the Lokomotiv Moscow game. I might let my assistant do it. That's what I might do. Let's say, I feel like there's not too much. As I said, I'm not going to make any transfers in this first part. I feel like reassigning Chambers as a defensive midfielder, and the only player that I'd be partial to sort of letting go would be Xhaka. But being that he's an influential player, I don't want to annoy the whole of the squad before I've even got in. Player has reacted well to latest press conference. 1 negative. Starting to feel he deserves a new contract. Okay. Still not willing to discuss. I'm not liking all these changes in the background that I have no input in, and I will change that eventually. Missed out on Dennis Bergkamp. That is bitterly disappointing. I don't know why they're called Zebre Juventus. That's really... How old is... He's only 18. I feel like his stats could still improve. I want him to persevere with that. I'm not too fussed with the others, even Martinez. And the potential of these players. Harry Clark was wanted by someone, wasn't he? There you go, Luton. Right, so here's what I'm going to do. Transfer, offer to clubs. Now, I'm not too worried. The only clause I want is percentage of next sale at 50%. That's the only thing I want. The fee is negotiable. The one thing that I'm going to lock in is percentage of next sale. Right. So who was it that I was saying that we could probably lose and it wouldn't make much of a difference? Got too many fitness coaches, haven't we? So, Padraig Roche. He's not even up for renewal. Okay. Messakar. What's he up to? Yeah, he's a good one. All right, we'll offer him a new contract then. Full-time, fitness coach, no secondary job. It'll be immediate, 4 years. What is he on at the moment? He's on 4. Put him up to 4.5 till 2024. Good that. Okay, so that's 1. So long all of this. Right. Scout. Goalkeeping coach. These guys deserve new contracts for sure. Well, hold on. If he's got an optional... He doesn't. There you go. So why can't we just put the optional extension on? Am I being really daft here? I would have thought that with him, If he's got an optional extension. Not sure I like that. Well, either way, we want to keep them all on. And for the purpose of keeping this game going, let's get the director of football to negotiate. I thought, though, we should have been able to have just extended his if there was an optional. Unless, I suppose, if it had already been included and that was the extra year. Alfie Matthews, eh? Not as good as I remember. Right, I'll tell you what. You and you. Because if he can get Saka to do it, to sign a new contract, I'll be happy with that. Okay, right. Dave Watson. Was he the guy who played at Newcastle? Sorry, Everton, wasn't it? He scored against it. First ever football game I ever saw, as in professional. First ever Arsenal game. It would have been January about 1995. And Ian Wright, my hero, my first ever hero in football, scored within a couple of minutes. It was at Highbury. And Dave Watson scored the equaliser and it ended 1-1. It would have been around January, February time in about 1995. But there was a Steve Watson who played for Newcastle who I just got him confused with when I was clicking around. So just saving the game there. Okay. Transfer listing. Lad's only about 16. Yeah, 18 years old, poor lad. I don't mind how much money we get for him. I just want transfer offer to clubs. As I said, it's one clause, percentage of next sale. I do this with like all the youngsters that I move on. Yeah, and there's a good reason for it, is that most of the time you don't get anything out of it. But every now and then they go on to another club and they become being worth really loads of money, and then they sell on, and then you get another like £20 million. If they sell for 40, you get 20 million of it. It's quite a sneaky little tactic, and it does work. Such unrealistic targets. Asensio. Am I really going to buy him? Matuidi. Arsenal were linked with Gintner. I need to set up my scouting. Actually, I'll do that once we get into like the league games and stuff. Shakespeare to join Tottenham. I don't care. Oh, apparently we made an offer for him, or someone that I empowered is going a bit mad. So that's good news about Tyrese John Jules. And he's about to go out on loan, isn't he, to like Bradford or someone. So on loan to Bradford. Good lad. Go do it. Barnsley. We've accepted this. No, see, I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this. The way this is coming together. No. Real Madrid step up chase for Laka. Laka want Martinelli on loan. He's not going on loan. No, he's not. Have I said that he's available for loan? Right. Well, he's unavailable for loan now. I'm not liking the way the game says, okay, you want to sell him, transfer list him. Okay, we'll just accept offers on your behalf. That's not what I signed up for there. Good, good. Is there a real void in the infrastructure at Arsenal or something? The amount of... Out for a day. Custom formation. We should probably go with a balanced mentality, shouldn't we? Sorry, for a positive mentality in this game. You know, we are the better side. No, they're not happy with that. Fantastic. Nice to see that my motivating stat is working well here. Yeah, this is what I mean. Okay. I'm actually going to let my assistant manage the team for tomorrow's game. Why? What the hell? Come on. Okay. So I'll be back on the 7th. I'll come back on the 8th. Probably should have just done it that I'd just go on holiday and come back when all my players are back. Yeah, so basically, someone actually put on the chat that the Juventus are called Zebre because Pro Evo 2020 has an exclusive partnership with Juventus. So no longer the game can actually be called Juventus, which I've seen quite a few of that in the past. It's a bit of a shame because obviously they pride themselves on being like as close to real life as possible, and then you get things like, you know, like Red Bull Leipzig, I think were called RBL, and things like that. So of course they offered that just while I wasn't there. Of course they did. Additional clauses, percentage of next sale. Honestly, I'm not all I want. I don't care how much money they offer. Just want that percentage of next sale so that when he becomes a star, (3-0). We want to play. No, I don't want Xhaka to do it. I want to talk to him myself. I'm really disappointed that we didn't qualify. What can I do about that? I've just come through the door. I understand your ambitions. Some important part of my plans. Is there not one that says "Give me time and we'll qualify this season" or something? Oh yeah, there we go. Good. Thanks, Mizut. Okay, and he is a massive part of my plans. Right, so let's have a look at what happened then while I went on holiday. But Robbie Burton scored. We must have just pulled someone from the youth. Bukayo Saka scored as well. Quick flash of the boardroom there by the looks of things. Okay, fair enough. Nice to see that low cross instruction that I've put on the team is working well. 9 days until Shakhtar. Right, so do we have players back from their holiday? No offers for Clark. Barnsley make Clark offer. Right, who keeps doing this? Barnsley. Per Mertesacker. Right. No, I'm not happy with the way that's working. They keep... Right. What will it be? It'll be staff. Responsibilities. Transfers. Contracts. Yeah, this should all be me. Definitely me. What's the difference in initiating player sales for Arsenal? Oh, okay. It's the age groups. Negotiating. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm not having that. There's no way I'm having it. Anything to do with players coming in or out. That's me. You are not doing that. Right, so let's have a look at this transfers. Harry Clark, free offers. Absolutely not. As I said, if he goes, the only reason he's going is because of that 50% sell-on clause. Not profit from next sale, 50% of next sale. Heads up about Aubameyang now. Jesus, these players are needy. What is it? Right, actually, no, has been dropping its battery. Yeah, I'd rather not lose Oba if I can help it. Mesut I kind of get, and there'll be a gain, but yeah. Right. Right, no offers for Clark. Arsenal injury update. Is now able to perform well in his new position. Well, that's good to know. Invitation to England trial day. Get the scouts to take a look. I just can't see any of them being... It's the problem with live streams, isn't it? Is that you can't skip those sections because it's got to do its little bit. But well, Ben Cottrell, was it? Yeah, Ben Cottrell. Can't see him becoming a world beater. But then again, you never know. So, 2 transfer offers. Oh, good. And no one stepped in and accepted them. Right, what have we got here then? Luton, transfer offer made. Oh, you cheeky so-and-sos. No. They've made it non-negotiable. Reject offer. And Hull. That's interesting. They've made it non-negotiable as well. So it's a no. It's really annoying as well. Like, you offer out a player for a certain like transfer state, for want of a better phrase, because it's the clause, it's not a certain value. And they go, nah, they're not going to make an offer for you. And then a day later, they've come back with an offer. Well, no, hold on. I've said what I want. Why do we have to go in this little merry-go-round? It just doesn't make sense. No offers for Clark. Right. And then tomorrow we'll get a whole lot... What was that, actually? Get a whole load of offers. Available first-team players for... I might stick Joel Lopez in there. Our next game's not for 6 days. Matt Macy can as the keeper, or actually Martinez for 45 minutes, and Matt Macy for the other maybe. Not worried about Lacquer. Yeah, he can play the other 45. And that's interesting. Joe Willett looks like he's back, so he wasn't out for very long, was he? I suppose they all can, really. They can all play 45 minutes. It's still extra match fitness, isn't it? Till one of them gets booked, I guess. Or one of them gets injured, I guess. Under 18, so 8 suggestions for the under 18s. No. Well, hold on, did they not play or something in the last game? Well, that's a nice offer. No clause in there. Get out. Oh, of course we got an injury from that. Of course we did. Still, if it's going to be anyone, I'd rather it be the sub-keeper than anyone. Like big. Are these players not back yet? Bum, 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 bum. Achievement unlocked. Eyes and ears. What have I done that's so fantastic? What was that? Eyes and ears. Assign a scout to watch a particular match. What was the other achievement I gained in this early stage? You used a photo fit for your manager profile. I did. Yeah, I did. Very good. Okay. Granit Xhaka, doing well in training. Fair play. Right, I'm probably going to do this Shakhtar Donetsk friendly. And then I'll call it a day, I reckon. And leave it at that. But I will be back tomorrow for another stream probably. While I begin to get things together. I might, in between, I'll be going to bed in a minute. But in between this, I'm going to set up my scouting. Because I think that's important. Assignment completed. Recommended players, none. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I haven't really got them looking hard for players at the moment. My gut is that I'll probably be looking for a right back in the summer. A defensive midfielder. And an advanced playmaker. That's my gut instinct. Right, listen, this is getting boring now. If you're not going to let me at least negotiate with you, nah. Right, he's coming off the transfer list then. Right, let's sort out a bit of the training then. Do you want to confirm your changes? Yes. So let's sort out some of the training. So, and the individual focuses. That seems to be a bit of a bug, that it doesn't set you straight into the list properly. So do we have more players back? It looks like that's a... holiday. Oh my giddy aunt. Jesus. I thought they were due back before that. Who agreed to have them away for most of the year? Oh well. Saving this will only take a few minutes. Of course it will. Great. Okay. So Bukayo Saka, can I offer him a new contract yet? Oh, come on. It's terrible news. I think we've got more players back now, so finally. Why? So, Saka. Still got quite a few away. But it was good, actually, that Reece Nelson has come back. I didn't promise that to Oba. I said the opposite. I said you shouldn't need to worry about it, didn't I? July 18th. Right, well, we've got a lot of players coming back now. Shouldn't be such a struggle. Certainly as it was the first couple of games. But now no one's going to have any match practice, are they? So, Chambers, we're going to play as that central defensive midfielder. The right wing back is going to be Ainsley Maitland-Niles. The right winger is going to be Reece Nelson. So that's about how we expect it to be. Box to box then is probably going to be Willock for now, because Guendouzi and Torreira are still away on their super long holidays. I think it'll be fine. Granit Xhaka can go on the bench. Everyone else is still on the bloody beach. Shakhtar Donetsk. They're no pushovers, actually. That would be a tough game. No first team players. I like this screen, actually. This is oh, come on. It's a bit early for all this. Use the club doctor. I'm going to use the doctor. I'm not going to use a specialist. So Saka's injured, is he? We haven't even got going. So Martinelli will probably be best placed, because Emile Smith-Rowe's injured as well. Three months as well is a long time to be missing a player. That's I haven't even checked until how long until Rowe's back. What of him? Oh, I didn't select him, did I? Yes, I know I've only selected 5 substitutes. That's because everyone else is away. I don't know what that weird flick is that goes to the like the board. Oh, what was that? I want you to play your natural game. Yeah, brilliant. So we've just about managed to fudge together a team, haven't we, for these first couple of games. Everyone will come back now, so we can sort out the training. So I guess in the next video I'll sort out the scouting. I'll probably do that off stream, because there's just no point in that, and it takes forever. I will I'll start playing. I might even, before I start streaming again, I might even skip over all the pre-season friendlies. We've got a bit of a problem now at left wing, to be fair. I think Martinelli's going to have to be playing the majority of it because this looks dangerous. Because we've got Saka, who's now injured for 3 months. I don't know how long Smith Rowe's out for, but I think he's out for quite a while. The only other possibility is that we play Reece Nelson there, but not. We'd have to play him as an inside forward, and that'd be a more attacking. Whereas obviously I've gone for a 4-4-2, and to be fair, go on, Mesut. Right, who's spreading out and helping him? That was a good run, Mesut. Joe Willock. I don't understand this. We are massively outplaying them if you look at our stats. So how is it then that they are... Is that Sergei Christoph or Kravitsov playing as a centre-back? I used to sign him years ago. It must be. It is. Heading, marking. I'm going to scout him. How old is he these days? Oh. 57. That's a shame. Who got that? Gabriel Martinelli. I'll tell you now, I've said it a million times in this stream, his potential ability is wrong in this. It's a bit juddery. Something like that before. Martinelli running the game, and he 2-0 to Arsenal. It's good that. How's Chambers doing in this area that he's... Okay, so... Is anyone looking knackered? Yes, Martinelli. I don't blame you, son. And we've got to wrap him in cotton wool because he's about the only one that can play on the left wing. So, let's put on Lacazette. Play... Lacazette as an advanced forward. Oba as a complete forward. In support mode. Because of that change, we'll put Mesut over this side. I know it's not ideal. Granit Xhaka can come on for Willock purely because he's been booked. Joel Lopez can come on at left back. Mustafi is the ball playing defender. And he can come on for Chambers. Or actually, let's bring him on for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, because I think he can almost play right back, can't he? Or something daft. I thought he was... Yeah. And then Emi Martinez. Oba's in there, isn't he? Let's have a look up. Nelson, Banger Jenner. Yeah. So we've actually looked really good pre-season. Be interested to see the sort of familiarity with my tactics that I've instilled, but we're actually playing good football, dominating matches, dominating possession. And I should imagine that the fans should be happy with what they've seen so far. How old is that Serge Ikrovitsov? 28. God, it feels like it feels like he's been around forever. Gone over. Oof. Must have been first time. Has to have been first time. Yeah. Mesut. Doing the biz there. Nice Mesut. Maybe I've got the replay slowed down too much. Team talk, well done. So yeah, because Shakhtar, aren't they in the Champions League? I think that's quite a good result. So we're all going Hammer Shakhtar 3-0. Arsenal under 23s do well. The under 18s do as well. So yeah, Shakhtar Donetsk then. Where are they? Ukrainian Premier League profile. Yeah, they're in the Champions League. Oh, there you go. A couple of my players moaning about whether or not we're... Let's have a look at some of the values of some of these players. Aubameyang, of course, Laka. Really annoyed about Saka though. Well, hopefully that will make him sign a new contract. No? Well, listen, pal, if you're out for 3 months, and we're offering you a contract, I'd take that if I were you. Right, I think we'll leave that there. For anyone that's been watching, it's thank you. It's probably been a bit disorganised. It is pre-season. I'm going to actually play the pre-season friendlies because it's a bit boring while all that's going on. I doubt I'm going to make any transfers. I doubt I'm going to let anyone leave either. But I'm really excited about the amount of youngsters that I can bring through on this. From look at some of the players that we've got for this first season. So the keeper, I'm going to try and give a few runs to in the Cup, maybe even in the Europa. Joe Lopez, I'm going to play in the Europa and see if I can get him a little bit of game time. Saka, I was going to use quite a lot, but obviously if he's injured, when's he due back? 2 to 3 months, doesn't give us a date. Martinelli, as I said, I'm bitterly disappointed by his sort of potential rating, so I'm going to be really working hard to try and make him and give him game time, particularly because, and this is really interesting, Saka's out, Martinelli's out, Smith Rowe's out, who are my 3 left-wing options. So with that in mind, something's got to come of that. 2 to 6 weeks. So again, Martinelli is my only real option at left wing, which means that I should probably be thinking about trying to train him as a left winger and not as a striker as things stand. Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, Guendouzi, Ainsley Maitland-Niles even, Tierney. Don't know what I'm going to do with him yet, Ceballos, in terms of whether or not I'm going to sign him. Even Torreira's only 23 years old. Rob Holding is generously given a generous potential ability. Even Pepe, I haven't even seen him play yet because he's still on holiday to the 1st of August. But it looks like we've had a few more players back from their holes. I might just quickly configure them while I can. Just see who we're yet to sort. Nicholas Pepe still on holiday. Yeah, of course you are. Ceballos still on holiday, still on the beach. Yeah. Guendouzi still on the beach. So we haven't actually had anyone return to us yet. Reece Nelson, double intensity. So he did come back, but he was before the game that I started trying to sort his training out. So why play America in support mode? It's got to be strength that he works on. It has to be. And especially while he's still young. While they're young, you've got to get them working on their strength, because otherwise that's a really hard stat to increase as they get older. Like with Mesut Ozil being 30 years old, like you just won't get that stat increasing anymore. So, thanks very much to all that's been watching. I hope it's been educational. I will come back tomorrow around 11 o'clock now. I should imagine I'll be back around 9ish, 9:30. But as I said, I'm going to do a bit of tinkering around, sort out my scouting, try and get past the pre-season friendlies because they're not as interesting, and I need to start getting these players match fit that have been on the beach the whole time. So, thanks very much. Enjoy. Cheerio.